How many of you have ever dreamed of being a bassist to play with your own band, worshipped by the audiences, submerged in the sea of the applauses? Great. Who actually fear of if you are a aware parent, discovering your own children playing the bass guitar like crazy? Who hope that your children can whip their hair, rotate their arms, and put the fingers on the strings to pluck the strings? As a parent, you must be quite determined whether to make your children into a bassist or not in his or her own future. Another thing as easy to determine as this: wherever you come from or you go to, you discover a hierarchy of subjects around the whole world, with mathematics and languages at the top, humanities and sciences in the middle, and the arts at the bottom. But why do the majority of people refuse to regard arts education as important as mathematics education? Because they are told at school that arts are useless except for providing them with another way of gaining more approaches to gain more diplomas and awards. Because they are told that succeeding in arts are extremely hard. Because the values, skills gained after the process of arts over the process itself. Because currently, succeeding in arts in the society doesn't mean that you are completely successful, that you will maybe not accepted. However, I'm here to stress the importance of arts education. The fresh perspectives gained after the process of arts education are much more than the skills themselves. The purpose of arts education should be to enable us to become or to have the abilities to appreciate the beauty, instead of becoming the experts in arts. 3 whys I tried to be answered today. The first one is what I've mentioned. Why do we have a hierarchy of subjects? Second one, why is the current education system in the world? And the third one, why do we need arts and arts education? The third one. Can anyone help me with this slide? Thank you. Next slide. Next slide. Right. Not until 19th century did we firstly have public education to face the need of industrialism. The aim of it was to put the most useful subjects at the top. That is, those that can feed us and warm us directly. If you are in charge of a space colonization program and a selection of human beings based on their abilities is inevitable, who will you choose? A carpenter who can help us to reconstruct, or a harpist who might be given no heart on Mars or other planets. An organic farmer who can feed us, or a fashion designer who created his or her own fashion brands. The former ones you may think. That is the outrageous process of labeling people and giving them price tags. However, the situation on Earth is just slighter. We make calculations every single time. Utilitarianism dominates our principles. To add on, we talk about intelligence. Intelligence has been measured in a binary way, based on our academic abilities. That is to say, you can say that a person has intelligence or not. However, due to a chief educator, Ken Robinson, that intelligence is highly dynamic, diverse, and distinct. It should be measured on the spectrum instead of a binary system, yes or no. Thousands of talented and unique people fail to be qualified in the current education system. One of my friends in my former school was mad about comics and would love to be a cartoonist in his future. He would love to put his own experiences and stories into pictures, and I can tell that he saw things. We spent a great time together, until his parents got divorced because of the disagreements on his future path, since his scores at schools are comparatively low in his peers. He moved to another city with all his comics books, practices, and dreams threw away by his father. I'm not trying to say that having bad scores is a sufficient condition to become an artist. What I'm trying to say is that his intelligence is immeasurable in the current education system. For people like this, we should provide them with proper arts education to encourage them. Furthermore, compared with mathematics, languages, humanities, and sciences, the experiences gained after arts education are comparatively unique and subjective. They're hard to be quantified, compared, and measured. In my current international curriculum system, the evaluations on the arts subjects such as theater, visual arts, music, and film production are made based on the tasks which ask the student to describe and explain their experiences they gained after completing some arts projects. You can tell that it is actually a trouble or difficulty for the teachers. Well, you can easily give a task score to a physics student. The second why is the current education system in the world? Since most of us will choose or have chosen a major to focus on, or a way to determine our lives, why do we need to study so many subjects when we are in primary school, middle school, and high school? What for? I think the answer will be to make us to be more well-rounded and open-minded, to shift from perspectives to perspectives and to create something new. Or more precisely, to quote from John Keating from Dead Boy Society, we don't do arts because it's cute. We do art because we're members of the human race. And the human race is filled with passion. Medicine, law, business, engineering, these are noble pursuits and necessary to sustain life. However, arts, romance, love, beauty, these are what we stay alive for. Quote from Whitman, "Oh me, oh life, of the endless of the faceless, of the stories of these recurring, of the cities filled with passion. What good aim it is, oh me, oh life." Answer, that life, that you are here, that life exists, an identity. Then the powerful play goes on, and you may contribute a verse. And the powerful play goes on, and you may contribute a verse. What will your verse be? The arts education is supposed to be inspiring and encouraging. Analogously, my Chinese literature teacher once told me that the purpose of us now writing literature commentary is not to turn ourselves into professions in literature commentary. The purpose of it is to raise our interest and to have a sense of writing, an interest in stories and words. To not provide us with more opportunities instead of be turned into brains in a vat, disembodied. The third why do we need arts and arts education? This is a huge question, and to answer this, I ask help from all students from United World College, Changshu, China, to provide you with a more universal answer, viewpoints on arts and arts education. They come from worldwide continents. My first interviewer, Fritz from San Diego, USA, perceives arts as an expression of self. He told me about his experiences of singing his old school's choir, about practicing in the leisure time to reach perfection and to stand on the stage and to enjoy the harmony. A kind girl from Czech Republic, Blanka, told me about her experiences of learning violin starting at the age of 6. Due to the friendly atmosphere in her hometown, she was able to perform on the streets and to have interactions with passers-by, mothers with the trolleys of her babies, teenagers, couples, and so on. My third interviewer, Bastian, a smart boy from Germany with global awareness, talked about his interest in conceptual arts. Once, in a rap song, he reflected on the ways human beings view aliens from the perspective of an alien, and he linked that to Columbus' discovery in the 15th century. And then I asked an elegant visual student from China, Kiki. She finds out a style of living, a way to think, an approach of expressing ourselves, our feelings, and necessity. Lastly, my last interviewer is one of my theater teachers in the school, Zachary, a graduate from United Words College, United States of America. He thinks that by learning art, we're able to discover our own approaches, to take risks, to be more confident, and to see things from multiple perspectives. The author of a series of comics books, named Crazy Neighbors, illustrated his point that by learning art, we're able to see the world from others' eyes. Imagine that you're walking on the streets and you encounter an old couple holding hands. You may see through their eyes by saying that we got married a couple of years ago. We met a great number of difficulties, however, we overcome them by ourselves. We are eternally grateful of having companions at this age to face the final end of our lives. Well, for me, I gained so much after learning calligraphy, Chinese painting, and guzheng. They broadened my horizons, and I'm able to find my responsibility of spreading Chinese culture. Every time I stand on the stage and to perform, I'm thinking that what is Chinese culture? Why is it so important? Why should I spread it to the world? The last story I want to tell you happens. It's a fascinating story which can add a new layer to our reasons, that is to pass down cultural heritages. In the southern part of China, locates a city called Chuxiong in Yunnan province. The community there consists of several ethnic groups, including Yizu, Daizu, Baizu, Dongzu. The people there are passionate, outgoing, and kind. Dongzu Dage Yi toasting songs, dances of Yizu and Baizu are treacherous cultural heritages. One of my friends, Niu, went there with a group of students from big cities and some music teachers to exchange the advantages of both sides. They discovered that students there magically started able to learn and to play the piano and the guitar pretty well. They haven't go to school or they haven't got in touch with any of these musical instruments. They're born with talents and spirituality. When you're looking at them doing radio cabathetics at schools, every single person on the campus starts to dance. Students, teachers, ayis, guards. When you're walking down the streets, you discover people doing wax dyeing and embroidery. They construct their pictures perfectly well while they've never been to school or received any education relevant to photography. My friend went to one of the local schools there, having the campus of 7 acres, with a huge room filled with their words and the cups they gained after participating in national-wide competitions in arts. I hope that through this lecture that we can cherish the now time, that to realize that we are living in a good time, a time that we don't have to make some claims that John Adams, the second president of the United States, made in his letter to Mrs. Adams several hundred years ago, saying that I must study mathematics, I must study politics and words, that our sons can study mathematics and philosophy. Our sons ought to study mathematics and philosophy. That mathematics and philosophy, geography, natural history, naval architecture, that to make their future generations able to study painting, poetry, music, dance, and so on. It is the time to focus on Picasso's address that all children and all students are born artists. The problem and the issue is just to remain an artist as he grows up. I believe passionately that arts education is able to do this. What TED celebrates is the creation of ideas, the creation of beauty and the arts. I believe that through proper arts education, we can make the children's and the students' eyes lit up to use their gifts wisely. Thank you.